If I remember correctly, there are two dry lakes in New Vegas, and this is clearly one of them. Look at the soil. There's the Ivanpah Dry Lake south of Primm, and the El Dorado Dry Lake north of Novac and Helios 1. Later on in the trailer, we see that our protagonist traveled through Novac, so surely it has to be the El Dorado Dry Lake. We see our heroes approaching New Vegas. Fallout Films on Twitter posted this image showing a side-by-side of New Vegas skyline from the trailer and the game. I found the location, but it's all the way in the northeast edge of the map. Clearly the showrunners aren't trying to produce a one-to-one recreation of the game's world space, which is fine, and in some cases preferred. McCarran Airport, for example, should be much further away from the Strip.
You want to know why the world ended? It started here, with one man.
Now this could be quite a contentious statement, because what does he mean by this? The trailer progresses to shots of Vegas in the past and a voiceover by Robert House. The nuclear war somehow began in New Vegas with Mr. House? Even if we assume that they're committing to the idea of Vault-Tec maybe starting the war, we saw from Season 1 that it wasn't House's idea. He figured out that it was inevitable, started preparing Vegas for it, and I assume was then invited to the Vault-Tec meeting. From there, he told him to screw off and went back to Vegas where we found him. The show is really gonna have to explain that one. Here we see Cooper Howard still with his wife while in Vegas. I think it's safe to assume then that Cooper met with House before the secret Vault-Tec meeting and before their divorce. Why are they meeting at all? Well, we'll have to wait for the show to find out. Is Lucy waking up in Vault 21 here? We see a box of sugar bombs, a Giddy Up Buttercup, and it seems to be underground. For some reason, I can't quite remember where I've seen this particular carpeting style though. The carpet in the Tops Casino features something similar, but it's not the same. Oh well.
Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit if it ain't my old friend from Goodsprings.
The Lucky 38 penthouse is looking quite accurate. I wonder if we're gonna see some hints about him working on his Robo-Women. Both of them, not just Jane, but also Marilyn, who was cut from the game. I'm looking closely at this cabinet, but I don't see any snow globes. Shame.
I know there's a war coming.
Clearly he's talking about the Great War, but the visuals are indicating another war that we are going to see in the show involving the Brotherhood of Steel and Caesar's Legion? We see that Lucy here has been captured by them. This is the show's chance to talk about the plights of a highly patriarchal society if they really want to, and they probably want to. Now Fallout New Vegas takes place in 2281. The Fallout TV show takes place in 2296. That's 15 years later. I think it's safe to assume that the Courier did not side with the Legion, because if he did, then they would have continued to expand west, whether he saved or killed Caesar during Et tu mors Brute or not. And since we didn't, I'm guessing they lost or didn't exactly entirely win the second battle for Hoover Dam. Caesar died, and Linnaeus couldn't run things in his stead, leading to an inevitable fracture, infighting, and Linnaeus probably also dying as well. Long story short, this is not Caesar we are seeing here, nor is it Linnaeus. He'd be much bigger than this. They got the aesthetics down though. It does look like they're wearing old sporting equipment, and we see what appears to be a Decanus in the back there, because he's wearing the same type of headgear as characters like Dead Sea. And now we get our first look at Dinky the T-Rex. Although we can already tell from here, but they clearly show it later on in the trailer. Novac has changed, and Dinky may have been moved. Or maybe this isn't even Novac, and originally the Dino Delight Motel was a franchise and this is a different one, also featuring Dinky. I don't know, because in the game Dinky didn't overlook the rooms, nor did Novac feature a pool. It would be kind of funny, however, if when they got there they opened up a closet and found it full of those Dinky souvenirs. How many times am I going to say Dinky? I had a dog named Dinky growing up. Good dog. I would try to ride him, but he wouldn't let me. But anyway, I wonder if this is a nod to Doctor Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. It probably is. We see the Brotherhood gunning down some ghouls. We see Hank looking at what I'm assuming is an underground Vault-Tec headquarters. Maybe abandoned. Maybe not everyone was supposed to go to that oil rig. I mean, Bud was doing his thing. Maximus has a new friend. We see an attack being carried out on some sort of snowy environment. My first thought was that the Brotherhood found that Enclave compound, but the following footage shows that it's a flashback of when Cooper fought in Alaska wearing the T-45 like he said. We all remember Operation Anchorage. Hopefully we'll see some Chinese stealthers. Doubtful. Anyway, back to possible Novac. Two men get blown up falling into an empty pool because one rushed the other and Cooper clutched at a grenade one was carrying. It looked like he grabbed a whole grenade, but he must have only pulled the pin. The image is too blurry to tell for sure, but I'm gonna say that these men are possibly Great Khans. I mean, they got the leather, and this one seems to be wearing a helmet that kinda looks like something they'd wear. And Manny Vargas was a Great Khan. Maybe he survived the Legion attack on Novak and came back or stayed. Here we see Lucy holding a rifle of some kind, and the scope seems awfully shiny. Imagine if it was a night vision scoped varmint rifle. If it was painted black, I'd say it was Rat Slayer, but it's not. The return of Chicken Fucker.
I'd be spraying bullets into the air as I...
And now we see Cooper crashing out a 2 or 3 story window from the Atomic Wrangler in Freeside. I'm guessing he had a little disagreement with Beatrix, or he ended up in a locked room with Fisto.
Please assume the position.
One of 4 Brotherhood airships is seen crashing in the desert with Maximus and an unknown knight hauling ass. We see what appears to be Vault 31 residents under attack somewhere by rad roaches, which is peculiar because Vault 31 was where the pre-war Vault-Tec employees were being kept on ice, and Bud was a brain in a Roomba. So this isn't even the vault. I don't know where this is, or even when it's happening. But since there's rad roaches, it needs to be post-Great War, right? But who are these people? I guess we'll find out. Is this what's become of the Strip? The orientation of buildings have been changed too. We see the Gomorrah and Tops Casino as well as the water fountain, but the position of the Tops and Gomorrah should be the other way around, and the water fountain is right next to Gomorrah instead of the Ultralux. Oh well, what are you gonna do? We see a Securitron firing its 9mm submachine gun, but at a fully power armored Brotherhood of Steel soldier. Also, the TV screen they have for a face isn't red. This is basically confirmation that House never got his hands on the Platinum chip, not even to upgrade the Securitrons on the Strip. Meanwhile, the Brotherhood soldier seems to be carrying what I'm assuming is a super sledge on his back. Vault 33 residents are having a grand old time, and we see a rad scorpion eating what appears to be another smaller rad scorpion. I think it's one of those little bark scorpions. Lucy shooting what I'd like to think is a lever action rifle at feral ghoulified kings, still with perfectly coiffed pompadour hair. But yeah, everything is destroyed, and we see Lucy firing another gun in slow motion. This time it appears to be a radium rifle, and I've heard some people suggest that the slow-mo is VATS. By the way, looking at the bullet makes me think. I know it seems like they're going out of their way to destroy everything that came before them, but what about the gun runners? Are they still around? Probably not, but oh well. Finally, we get what was teased at the season finale of Season 1. Deathclaws.
I defer to you about what to do in this situation.
You can run if you want, they are very fast. And that's that. The first episode drops December 17th, and this time they're taking the episode per week route, giving content creators like me the ability to continuously milk each episode week after week as people are forced to wait in anticipation. Meanwhile, there's been talk of Bethesda putting out another update for Fallout 4, which will of course inevitably break the game yet again, and modders will need to fix it, because they don't have anything else prepared to capitalize on the Season 2 release. And I'm sure Microsoft is, yet again, quite upset about that. Maybe for Season 3 they'll have a Fallout 3 remaster or something. I think the least they can do is remaster Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics. But what people are really wondering is which ending is the show going to canonize? In my opinion, it isn't going to canonize any of them. Instead, it's going to make up its own ending that's most likely going to be some combination of elements from all of the other endings. Anyway, a decent enough trailer. Let's talk about this in the comments. If there's anything I missed, let me know.